Dunkin' Donuts acquired. What's up, guys? So, it's Sunday. Working today. Worked yesterday. Who needs a life? You got cars to finish. So I'm heading down to New England Muscle Cars today. We're working on the 69 Chevelle. Gonna make some magic happen. Hopefully. Otherwise, we're just gonna be doing a lot more wiring. I'd say probably a good 50% of these projects are wiring, getting it done and getting it done neat before we can actually get to the fun stuff. But I'll see you there. Okay, here we are. It's a full house again. It's got all the cars and trucks in here because may or may not rain. Oh, McDreamy update. So McDreamy has some stock Steelies on it, and there's a door off over here, which means he might be going in for paint this week, most likely. Yeah, he's doing final sand on it, it looks like. You also can get, oh, so this is how tight the transmission is with the floor kit out of it. You also get a look at the cool zebra wood bed that's going into this. But let's get back over there. So they got the inner and outer fender on. Also put the hood on, which is gonna make it a little tight working in there, but we'll work there. So let me pop the hood, start laying stuff out, and we'll figure out our game plan. So we decided to relocate the battery back up front to a stock location. It's just going to work out a hell of a lot better than it did out back. We didn't like where it was mounted out back. We didn't mount it out back there. The previous owner did. This is just going to be a whole lot easier for wiring, not having to run wires all the way from front to back for the battery. And it's just, if it was in the back corner of the trunk, I almost said fender, that would have been good. But it's like up in the middle right over the axle. It's not a great location. So I'm going to take all of my wiring that I straightened out last week. We're going to run this just like all the heater hoses and stuff are run between the inner and outer fender there. We're going to run all this that way through here and across the front to my battery to wherever I need to go to. And we're going to set up a relay system for the headlights just like Painless Wiring had. Or he had from the Painless Wiring kit, I should say. So we're going to have one relay for high beam, one relay for low beam. So that way we're not pulling all that amperage through our headlight switch. So we're going to get going on that. I'm going to go grab some wire off the spool and start making me a harness. I got to take a quick look at the diagram and recheck everything, and so I know where I'm running what to and where not. Figure out where we're going to put our horns. I'm going to mount the relays right here because they were here on that side, but the battery's there now. You know what? I could always tuck them down in there too. You know what? I think that's what I'm gonna do, because we'll keep everything as hidden as possible. All right, look at that. I'm innovating on the fly. All right, let me get some materials together, get my area set up, and then we'll get going. All right, here's my schematic off of Painless Wiring. So should have these wires coming out of there. Everything basically just joins together at the junction block over here. The only thing we'll be doing differently is I'll be running a 12-volt ignition switched on my pink wire, which I usually do because we're using the Holley alternator. That's just a one-wire alternator that does not need an exciter or the voltage read or voltage sense wire. So we're going to take a look at that because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, let me see if I can get a flashlight and a camera in here. Yeah, so we only have, let me switch hands. We only have the one red wire coming out of there. That top red wire is already blunt cut in the harness. That's for an option we're not using. So we just need to hook that one big red wire up into my junction block that's down there. And then off of that junction block, we're going to bring one main wire off to power my relays for my headlights, And I also today, oh, is the rear seat in? Oh, Christ, the back seat's still in. It was supposed to be taken out because I have to run a wire now from the amp that's in the back all the way up to that junction block as well. So we're going to go wire by wire here. It'll be far easier. And the good thing is, actually, I've decided I'm going to mount my relays on this side, because that way I'm basically using the high beam and the low beam wires as turn-on signals for my relays. So that way I don't have to run those all the way over there. And then we've got directionals, parking lights, green is horn, all that stuff. So we're going to start doing that. I also just thought, do I want to use our relays that we have over here in the bin? Or do I want to use the relays that I took out of here? Because they were good functioning relays. It was just, they're in the middle of a junk harness. And so I went and I grabbed the relays, the connector ends actually, I got to grab the relays, are over there, out of the trunk. And I'm going to use these because these are actually already color coded for headlight, for high beam, low beam. So we're all good to go. I'm going to unwrap this entire harness because they also give you a fuse in this. So I may use a big piece of this harness, just not all of this crap. Okay, first one of the day. That worked out pretty good. So I've got this stripped down to just what we need. So we have 3 sets of wires here, but that's because one set is your input from your lights and the other 2 go out to the lights. I just have to trace back up and figure out which one's which. If you ever want to know, your trigger and your power supply wires are usually the same on every single relay out there. These, the top and bottom, pass through to each other. These 2 pass through to each other. So I have my power, I'll cut this end off of it and run a wire over to my junction block over there, and then I have my ground. I can ground this anywhere body ground wise. I've just got to cut the rest of this out of here so I can figure out which one of these harnesses go to my trigger and which ones go to my lights themselves. I also just realized, why am I going to cut the rest of that apart when I can just ohm it out? I forgot I didn't bring my fluke, but Bruce had one, so I grabbed Bruce's. So we're going to ohm it out and figure out which wire is which. Let's see. So we're in ohms, and since these wires are all paired together, I should be able to just check one side and the other. So I'm going to guess, we're going to take a wild guess at the ones with the script on them for labeling purposes. Maybe the ones, which ones were those? These ones. My trigger wires. Let's see. So we'll check the green first. So light green. Let's see here. And we're going to go with this one. And my guess was inaccurate. Oh, no, wait, there we go. I just wasn't on it. Okay. So it's this harness is my feed that my inputs out of my headlight have to hook onto. So I am going to find myself some tape to put on there so I can mark that one so I know that's that one, and I know the other 2 go out to each different headlight. I'm over here working with a flashlight or a drop light. Like, oh man, it really is dark with this hood on. And I forgot, I've got outfield lights from Fenway Park over here. It's a little bit better. Okay, we're a little bit further along, a little bit neater. Everything is wrapped up and cleaned up in there. Once I get this harness fully terminated, it'll be pulling this back and making it flat against the firewall. Yeah, it'd be better if you were watching where I was pointing. Main power to the fuse block. Purple is starter. Pink is my ignition 12 volt. I didn't make that as long because I don't need it to be as long. It only needs to go over into this area to what's going to be my cooling fan relay, because all that's going to power out here is the cooling fan relay and be the turn on for my alternator. Headlights. So this is the harness off of the actual headlights. That has to go on to this harness right here. Oh, sorry, this harness right here. And then this one that's running down here will be the one that goes over to the headlight harness on that side. So So I'm going to terminate those now, because then once I get those terminated and the two greens in here terminated to my other wire, the one that I wrapped the green around, that's my input signal. All I've got left is the horn, where we're going to leave open in the harness right now because we don't know where we're going to mount the horn. And then I have one blue is left directional, one blue is right directional, and these two browns are my two parking lights. So we are getting close to having the front end of this thing back wired together. I gotta go find my cooling relay though, or my cooling fan relay, so I can hook those up and get that done. And actually, once that's done, I'm pretty positive, with the exception of running, dropped my fender liner, wire from the relay on the fuse block for the standalone harness for my cooling fans to power that relay. With the exception of that, everything in the engine bay will be run and done. All right, so we're getting somewhere. I've got stuff rough run. I was looking at the schematics. So what I need to do here is, of course, my two turn signal wires here, the blue and the light blue, just run one to each one of the turn signal bulbs, which are the ones down on the front of the bumper, because I also have marker lights that are over here. So these, though, my marker light ones, so I have to run, I'll basically split these two, or double these two into two more, because I have to run one to a marker light on the side, one to the marker light that's also in the turn signal on both of these. So with that being said, I'm going to go grab some more wire so I can continue wiring, because once I have those all elongated to where I want them, all this harness and the light harness are going to get joined together and run underneath the radiator, or in the front of it actually, out of the way, and back up to that side, and then I can wire that entire side after I pull the battery out. But I also just remembered I have to go find my cooling fan relay. So let me go do that first, because I got to figure out where I'm going to mount that, probably somewhere in this area. Okay, cooling fan relay, found it. So this is a new relay that we're trying out. I forget who makes this. We got it from Speedway Motors. These are both 70 amp relays, so more than enough amperage for whatever fan we're going to be running. This one, it's whatever Flexolights that came on the car. What I like about these, so we have your main power in, it's fully potted, splits it to the relays, and then power out to each fan. What they also have is an opening on each side, so you can run a normal J-case fuse. So we'll be running 40 amp J-case fuses here, and then your turn-ons are all right here. So if you're running a negative turn on, you know, obviously you've got a switch turn on, which I believe that's what this one has. You can run it switched for ground or switched for positive. Super nice, super self-contained, and very high amperage, which is great, because we were having a problem with, even when running a single relay for fans, it was overheating the relays, and they were 50 amp relays. So I said, you know what, let me go look for some 70 amp relays. Came across this whole unit, and I was like, that's the one, we're going to use that. So now I'm going to figure out where over here I want to mount this. I could actually mount this on that side too, but I figure since my other two relays are over here, we'll mount this one over here too. And actually, that doesn't look like a bad area right down there. Let me take a good look with the light, make sure everything will work out good, and if it does, I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to go. So I did like mounting it on the passenger side, but for the sake of keeping shorter power leads from my block right here over to there, I think it would be better to put it on this side. Plus, once the battery's in, you still have enough room to reach your hand in here if you need to replace a fuse or whatnot. So that is going to be where it goes. So let me drill and mount that thing, and then I can start running my brain fart, rest of my front lighting wires over here, and then I can loom everything up all tight and run everything down below and do that whole 9 yards I said I was going to do. So, might look disorganized, but I know where everything is. Headlights done on that side. I'm starting on this side now and doing those. I'm going to wire my parking lights and my directionals in as I go this way, so I can shorten the harness up as short as I need to make it. And then I'm going to jump some power and see if I am ready to power up the lights and see if they work at least. So we're progressing right along. I've got everything run down there. Main harness is moved. I've got a little lighting harness after. And we're finishing up on that side, and as soon as I'm finished up on that side, I can finish loom everything and then start running some wires for my electric fans up to my relay that got mounted over there. Alright guys, new harnesses are done. I've got to do a whole bunch of looming over there. New battery cables are made. All my lights are operational now. It's a beautiful thing. Gonna parking lights first. So this car's already got really nice LED, not even bulbs, like whole plate assemblies back here. So nice ones. And then rewired the front so that they're all good, ready to go. We've got parking lights on the sides and everything. And then we've got full headlights. Everything is wired through the relays, like I said. Pink, pink. And then we got headlights. And in case you're wondering, it's normal on these pre-70 cars for when you turn the headlights on, your front parking lights turn off. It's annoying as hell. The American Auto Wire harnesses don't do it like that, but these painless harnesses do it exactly how factory was, and that's how factory was. But this is my horn wire. That also works. That's all good to go. That's a full day there. So I think I'm about ready to clean up what little bit of a mess I have here and go home. But it's looking like a car again. Now we just have a couple more wires to run in the engine bay, put an interior back in it. Might be ready to drive it in a couple of weeks. Who knows? Oh, I also forgot to add in that ignition power is good. You can hear the relay clicking down there. So that whole thing is good. And there's the relay for start. And horn's also on there. And so all my lights are working. We got directionals. We've got hazards. So we're close. We just gotta do something with all this.